fellow Peanuts fans, I'm Karen from CollectPeanuts.com. Today we're looking at Snoopy's Beagle Scouts DIY Book Nook kit from Handcraft. This is not sponsored. I bought this with my own money, and if you're feeling like you need this for your bookshelf, there is a link in the description down below. And that link supports CollectPeanuts.com, so thank you very much. And if you want to support the channel further, be sure to like, subscribe, and you can join us on Patreon. Inside this lovely graphical box is everything you'll need for this project. Let's take a look at the manual. The manual is mostly graphic illustrations showing you where the pieces go together. Inside the accessory pack we have crafting glue, the battery box for 2 AAA batteries. We have an emery board, some clear stickers, and an acrylic sheet, and the fire. Let's take a look at the wood cutouts. There are 4 total sheets, and they are printed on both sides. First, a quick test of the electronics. It works! The first thing to remove are these 2 tools for helping remove the rest of the wood pieces. As you can see, they are a little difficult to remove, but these tools will make it easier. Let's get started on the project, starting with the table legs. Just need to pop these out with the tools. It takes a little getting used to using the tools, but it is a lot easier than using your fingers in these tiny pieces. Here's a close-up of the lantern top. Since this is made of plywood, you have to be careful when removing the pieces so that the layers don't split. Let's get this table put together. Putting in the legs, then the lantern, finally the mug. Next I'll show you the tent. All of these pieces interlock without the use of any glue or adhesive, so for the most part this is not going to be a messy project. They just use the interlocking tabs to stay together. Now this is the one piece I had problems with. This flag broke a bit, but luckily for a lot of the small parts they include 2 versions, so in case you break one, you have a backup, which I really appreciate. Next, let's get started on that fire. This is an acrylic piece that just slots together. It looks a little bit different from the photo, but when it's all together, you don't really notice it. Just insert the fire into the logs, and now we can get the base going for the fire. First, I have to pop out all these little rocks that look so much like little mushrooms. It's so cute. But those little stems go in to create the fire pit. And what's a camping adventure without Snoopy, Woodstock, and some marshmallows? Now on the base there are numbered holes, so you just have to match up the piece with the number, and the number is on the tab. Finishing up the wood stocks, and on to Snoopy. Let's get that fire in there so we can roast those marshmallows. Next they'll need a forest, so let's get out all the trees, and of course the mountains. Then we add the table and the tent. Here we have the camp sign in the lake, and putting together the sides with additional mountains and tree branches. This just slots into the main base, and we have one side done. On to the next side. We have a moon and some clouds, and some additional tree branches, and that lake from before. Let's put it all together and see what we have. Beautiful. Next we have the ceiling, blue on the inside and green on the outside. This is where all of the wiring goes. Plus, it's the first use of the crafting glue. I got the switch in place, and the wires get held down by this additional piece. And don't forget to take the inner seal off the glue. This is me wondering if I'm following the directions correctly. There's no written directions, and I'm just going off the photos, and I don't want to mess up this touch sensitive button. Now to apply the perfect amount of craft glue and get it in just the right spot. Next, I'm looking over the directions really well and realizing I kind of did this in the wrong order, so now I have to go back and get this light in place. After some cable management, we're good to go. Next, this little acrylic sheet gets glued down to the top. This will help keep the dust out of the book nook so you never have to dust it, which I really appreciate. Next, to get on the top. And does the touch button work? Yes, it does. Moving on to the light on the bottom. The bottom piece of wood is not fitting in the slots, and that is where the emery sanding board comes in. So I'm just taking off a little bit on those tabs. Then the clear stickers help keep the wires in place. Finally, moving on to the back panel. It has this cutout with a living hinge. I always find these amazing. Add a little handle to this door and pull it open. You have access to your battery. The final piece of this craft is the front. We have the surround and this acrylic sheet. Try not to get fingerprints all over it and apply. Let's see it in action. It works! Here's Snoopy and his Beagle Scouts gathered round the fire. Aren't they just adorable? I do like the depth that they gave this piece. It makes it feel like a big world in a tiny box. And let's get it on the bookshelf and see how the book nook looks. Beautiful. Thanks for joining me here today, Peanuts fans. If this looks like something you need for your bookshelf, remember there is a link in the description down below. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, join us on Patreon and CollectPeanuts.com, where you can see photos of my collection, read articles about collecting peanuts, and maybe buy something vintage for your collection. Happy crafting, Peanuts fans! Bye!